Calhoun sacrificed to save Rock Hudson's image. Rory Calhoun was born Francis Timothy McCown on August 8, 1922 in Los Angeles, California, emerged from a tumultuous youth to become a prominent figure in Hollywood's golden era. Raised in Santa Cruz, California, he was the son of Elizabeth Cuthbert and Floyd McCown, a professional gambler. Of Irish descent, Calhoun's early life was marked by instability and brushes with the law. At the age of 13, he was incarcerated at the California Youth Authority's Preston School of Industry for stealing a revolver. He later escaped from the facility, leading to further legal troubles. By 17, he had left home to escape an abusive stepfather and engaged in car theft and jewelry store robberies. His criminal activities culminated in a federal offense for transporting a stolen car across state lines, resulting in a 3-year prison sentence at the United States Medical Center for Federal Prisoners in Springfield, Missouri. He was paroled shortly before his 21st birthday. After his release, Calhoun undertook various jobs, including mechanic, logger, miner, cowboy, fisherman, truck driver, crane operator, and forest firefighter. His rugged appearance and tall stature caught the attention of Hollywood agent Henry Wilson, who was known for discovering young talent. Wilson introduced him to producer David O. Selznick, who signed him to a contract and changed his name to Rory Calhoun, believing the name had a strong, marketable appeal. Calhoun's early film appearances were minor, but he gradually gained recognition. His breakthrough came with the 1952 film Way of a Gaucho, directed by Jacques Tourneur, where he played a fiery cattleman. This role showcased his suitability for westerns and led to further opportunities in the genre. Throughout the 1950s and 1960s, Calhoun became a staple in western films, starring in titles such as The Silver Whip, 1953, Powder River, 1953, and The Spoilers, 1955. He also appeared alongside Marilyn Monroe and Robert Mitchum in River of No Return, 1954. In addition to his film work, Calhoun made significant contributions to television. He starred in the CBS series The Texan, 1958 to 1960, portraying Bill Longley, a cowboy seeking justice. His television presence extended to guest appearances on popular shows like Gunsmoke, Bonanza, and Death Valley Days. Beyond acting, Calhoun ventured into production by forming Rorvik Productions with Victor Orsatti in 1956. The company produced several films including The Hired Gun, 1957, and Apache Territory, 1958, as well as the television series The Texan. In the 1960s, Calhoun expanded his interests by purchasing a 1,500-acre ranch in Santa Clarita, California, named the Flying Sea Ranch, where he bred horses and cattle. His later acting roles included appearances in cult films such as Motel Hell, 1980, and Angel, 1984. He also had a regular role as Judge Judson Tyler on the soap opera Capital from 1982 to 1987. In the latter part of his career, Rory Calhoun experienced a resurgence in popularity and became known to a new generation of filmgoers through a series of distinctive roles in cult films that showcased his versatility and willingness to embrace unconventional characters. One of his most memorable appearances during this period was in the science fiction horror film Night of the Lepus, 1972, a movie that, despite its initial critical reception, gained a cult following for its unusual premise involving giant mutant rabbits terrorizing a small Arizona town. Calhoun played rancher Cole Hillman, a central character who tries to warn others about the impending ecological disaster. His commanding presence and trademark rugged demeanor lent the bizarre storyline and air of credibility, anchoring the film amid its campy special effects and earning him a new kind of admiration from fans of science fiction and horror cinema. Calhoun's cult film trajectory continued with the darkly comedic horror satire Motel Hell, 1980. in which he took on the role of Farmer Vincent Smith, a seemingly affable country innkeeper who secretly captures unsuspecting travelers and turns them into smoked meat products. The film was a tongue-in-cheek take on the slasher genre and allowed Calhoun to subvert his all-American Western hero image with chilling effectiveness. His performance was both humorous and sinister, blending his old-school Hollywood charisma with a twisted sensibility that helped elevate the film into a beloved classic among horror aficionados. Calhoun's portrayal of Farmer Vincent became iconic, showcasing his skill at embracing offbeat material with gusto and self-awareness. In the mid-1980s, Calhoun reached an even broader audience with the cult urban drama Angel, 1984, in which he played a protective father figure role to the title character, a teenage honor student who moonlights as a prostitute to survive on the streets of Los Angeles. As Kit Carson, a retired cowboy movie star who had fallen on hard times, Calhoun delivered a heartfelt and sympathetic performance that resonated deeply with viewers. His character, with roots in the westerns of his heyday, served as a metaphor for fading glory and the enduring human spirit. Calhoun reprised this role in the sequel Avenging Angel, 1985, further solidifying his status as a beloved fixture in the cult film circuit and demonstrating his ability to lend emotional weight and authenticity to unconventional stories. Calhoun's continued relevance in genre film was reaffirmed with his appearance in the post-apocalyptic action comedy Hell Comes to Frogtown, 1987, a film starring professional wrestler Roddy Piper. In this surreal and satirical romp, Calhoun played Looney Tunes, a crazed but memorable supporting character inhabiting a dystopian wasteland ruled by mutant frog creatures. His participation in the film was another example of his embrace of bizarre, imaginative roles that defied the norms of traditional Hollywood fare, and his involvement helped attract fans of both cult cinema and classic film alike. After an eclectic and varied career that spanned nearly 5 decades, Rory Calhoun's final screen role came in the 1992 musical drama Pure Country, which starred country music legend George Strait in his acting debut. In this film, Calhoun portrayed Ernest Tucker, the aging yet dignified patriarch of a Texas ranching family. His performance as Tucker was poignant and reflective, bringing a sense of gravity and emotional depth to the film's themes of tradition, family values, and staying true to oneself. As a grizzled old cowboy with years of hard-won wisdom etched into his face and voice, Calhoun imbued the character with authenticity, effectively channeling the essence of his many earlier Western roles. It was a fitting swan song for an actor whose persona had long been associated with the American frontier and the archetype of the rugged individualist. Through Pure Country, Calhoun bid farewell to the screen with grace, leaving behind a legacy of memorable performances that spanned from Golden Age Westerns to quirky cult classics, all while maintaining his singular charm and enduring screen presence. Rory Calhoun's personal life was as colorful and dramatic as many of the Westerns in which he starred. Over the course of his life, he was married 3 times, though interestingly, 2 of those marriages were to the same woman. His first marriage was to actress and singer Lita Barron, whom he wed in 1948. Together they built what appeared to be a solid family life, raising 3 daughters, Cindy, Tammy, and Lori. During their years together, Barron often appeared alongside Calhoun in public, supporting his career, especially as he transitioned from a turbulent youth into a major Hollywood leading man. Their marriage lasted for over 2 decades, but despite its longevity, it was marred by infidelity and eventually collapsed under the weight of scandal and personal tension. When Barron filed for divorce in 1970, the court documents shocked the public and the entertainment world alike. She accused Calhoun of rampant unfaithfulness, and in a sensational move, she specifically named legendary actress and dancer Betty Grable as one of the 79 women with whom he allegedly had extramarital affairs. The sheer scale of the accusation, 79 Named Women, captured headlines and became one of the more salacious divorce proceedings of its time. In response to these serious and highly publicized claims, Calhoun delivered a characteristically wry and irreverent remark that cemented his roguish reputation in Hollywood lore. He said, "Heck, she didn't even include half of them," a flippant comment that underscored his devil-may-care attitude and seemed to revel in the notoriety that surrounded his personal escapades. In addition to the turmoil surrounding his marriage to Barron, Calhoun found himself embroiled in further legal issues regarding his private life. At one point, he was the subject of a paternity suit filed by actress Bettina Marcus, a performer known for her work in science fiction and fantasy films and television during the 1950s and 60s. The case was eventually settled out of court, and although the specific details were not widely publicized, it is understood that Calhoun accepted paternity. This added another layer to his complicated personal life and reputation as a Hollywood ladies' man. Following his divorce from Barron, Calhoun entered into a relationship with journalist Sue Rhodes, a woman who would become both his second and third wife. The couple married in 1971 and had one daughter together, whom they named Rory after her father. However, their relationship, like his first marriage, was not without its struggles. The couple divorced in 1979, but their bond proved resilient, and in a rare twist of Hollywood romance, they remarried 3 years later in 1982. Their second union lasted until Calhoun's death in 1999, suggesting a level of deep affection and reconciliation that defied the ups and downs of their earlier years. Rhodes remained by his side during his final days, and together they raised their daughter Rory, marking the end of his turbulent yet ultimately enduring journey through love and family life. How was Rory Calhoun sacrificed to save Rock Hudson's image? Rory Calhoun, a ruggedly handsome actor known for his roles in westerns during the 1950s and 1960s, found his career marred and his public image tarnished, not because of anything he did at the time, but due to revelations from his distant past that were suddenly made public. What many fans and industry insiders did not realize was that Calhoun's scandalous exposure was not just a product of tabloid curiosity or investigative journalism. It was, according to Hollywood lore and historical accounts, part of a calculated maneuver orchestrated to protect another actor's career, that of Rock Hudson. In the hyper-controlled, image-conscious world of 1950s Hollywood, the studios held extraordinary power over their stars and maintained strict control over public perceptions. Universal Pictures had heavily invested in Rock Hudson, a rising star whose chiseled features and masculine charm had made him a favorite among female moviegoers. What the public didn't know, however, was that Hudson was secretly gay, a fact that, if revealed during the conservative post-war era, would have almost certainly ended his career and sent shockwaves through the industry. Homosexuality in Hollywood at the time was considered not just controversial, but potentially career-destroying. The studios, especially agent Henry Wilson, Hudson's personal manager, were therefore relentless in their efforts to bury any rumors or evidence of Hudson's private life. Henry Wilson was a notorious star-maker in the 1940s and 50s, known for crafting the careers and personas of several young actors, many of whom were gay or bisexual. Wilson had a powerful Rolodex, a strong relationship with gossip columnists, and a cutthroat sense of how to manage scandals. When rumors began to circulate about Hudson's sexuality, Wilson knew that drastic action was necessary to protect his most valuable asset. He reportedly contacted Confidential magazine, a popular scandal sheet infamous for its exposés, and offered them a trade. Instead of outing Rock Hudson, why not run a piece on another handsome actor with a troubled past? Someone who could serve as red meat for readers without risking a major studio investment. That someone was Rory Calhoun. At the time, Calhoun was a moderately successful actor, best known for playing gun-slinging heroes in B-grade westerns. Although he had enjoyed a steady stream of work and public admiration, he lacked the high-powered studio backing that someone like Rock Hudson had. Calhoun's vulnerability made him an ideal scapegoat. Wilson reportedly tipped off Confidential magazine that Calhoun had served time in prison as a teenager for theft and other crimes. While this criminal record had previously been known by some in Hollywood, it had never been publicized in the national media. Wilson ensured it would be. In 1955, Confidential ran the bombshell exposé, Rory Calhoun's Secret Past. The article detailed Calhoun's youthful misdeeds, his time spent in federal prison, and painted a picture of a man with a hidden criminal background. While the revelations did not end Calhoun's career outright, he continued to act in films and television. They severely damaged his reputation. He was suddenly seen as a shady figure, a former convict masquerading as a cowboy hero. Directors became wary of casting him, and his days as a leading man were effectively over. Calhoun's career trajectory was stunted, and he never fully regained the momentum he had enjoyed in the early 50s. Meanwhile, Rock Hudson's image remained untarnished, at least publicly. He continued to star in major studio films, including romantic dramas and comedies that reinforced his appeal as a heterosexual heartthrob. The gossip mills quieted, the rumors faded, and Hudson's career soared through the late 1950s and 1960s, peaking with films like Pillow Talk and Giant. Thanks to Wilson's maneuvering and Calhoun's unwitting sacrifice, the illusion of Hudson's straight romantic image remained intact for decades, until his AIDS diagnosis and death in 1985 finally brought his hidden life into the public eye. What happened to Rory Calhoun is a striking example of the ruthless image management that defined Hollywood's golden age. He was not accused of anything new or current, only past mistakes brought to light at the most convenient time for someone else's benefit. His life and reputation became collateral damage in the protection of a more valuable star. It was a betrayal that, while never formally acknowledged by those involved, has been documented in Hollywood histories and biographies, particularly those examining Henry Wilson's dark influence in the industry. In the end, Rory Calhoun was not just a victim of gossip journalism, he was strategically sacrificed, a pawn offered up in exchange for the protection of a studio's golden boy. His story stands as a cautionary tale about loyalty, control, and the high personal cost of fame in a system where power brokers decided who would rise and who would fall. Rory Calhoun, the ruggedly handsome Hollywood actor best known for his work in westerns and adventure films throughout the 1950s and 1960s, passed away on April 28, 1999. His death occurred at Providence St. Joseph Medical Center, a well-known hospital located in Burbank, California, a city long associated with the entertainment industry and home to numerous television and film studios. Calhoun had been suffering from multiple serious health issues in his later years, most notably emphysema and complications from diabetes, both chronic and progressively debilitating conditions. Emphysema, a form of chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD, significantly impaired his ability to breathe as it gradually destroyed the air sacs in his lungs, reducing the oxygen exchange necessary for normal respiratory function. This disease, often linked to long-term smoking, made everyday tasks increasingly difficult and diminished his overall quality of life. Calhoun, like many of his Hollywood contemporaries, had reportedly been a smoker for a significant portion of his life, which likely contributed to his respiratory decline. In addition to emphysema, Calhoun also struggled with diabetes, a metabolic disorder that affects the body's ability to process blood glucose. The disease can lead to a host of complications, including kidney damage, vision problems, nerve pain, and cardiovascular issues. In Calhoun's case, diabetes further weakened his already fragile health, compounding the effects of his respiratory illness and complicating his medical treatment. At the time of his death, Rory Calhoun was 76 years old. Though no longer in the public spotlight, he remained a respected figure among classic film enthusiasts and Western aficionados. His passing marked the end of an era for fans who remembered him for his charismatic screen presence, his distinctive deep voice, and his ability to portray both charming heroes and gritty anti-heroes. Over the course of his decades-long career, Calhoun had appeared in more than 80 films and television shows, leaving a lasting legacy in the genre that helped define him. His death was mourned by friends, family, and fans alike, many of whom reflected on the life of a man who had once ridden horseback across the silver screen as a symbol of American ruggedness and frontier spirit. Despite his health struggles in his later years, Calhoun's enduring image remained one of strength, determination, and classic Hollywood allure. In the years following his passing, retrospectives and tributes would highlight not only his impressive filmography, but also his journey from a troubled youth to a beloved film star, further cementing his place in cinematic history.